Good afternoon. How is everybody doing? All right, awesome. I'm going to start out by giving you the QR code to the presentation so you've got it, and then you don't have to worry about taking photographs of slides. So there it is. Now you own it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Did you blink? We're going to talk today a little bit about where we've been, where we are, where we're going. 4 years is how long we've been doing this conference. The very first year, I was very excited to be up here giving a talk, and we were talking about tech stack. We were talking about APIs connecting our tech stack together. We were talking about friction and frictionless flow, and what did that feel like? Where should I be frictionless, and where should I apply friction? And the following year, we had this explosion in generative AI. And so it was all of this discussion about how do I select the right tech? What can that tech do for me? And the possibilities that this technology was showing us. And of course, then we got pretty decent video generative AI that appeared. And if you don't like cats, I can give you dogs. We've just got much more stable image generation and image regeneration today than we have had ever, period. I would not have been able to make those slides do that 2 years ago when I gave that presentation. It would have been impossible. We spoke in the third year about how to pick and apply the technology in a very practical application, right? So we went from like, you gotta have a tech stack, it's gotta work. Here's all the crazy stuff it can do, but like, how do we actually implement those things? How do we use them in our life? And we talked about narrow intelligence and general intelligence and personal agents. We started that conversation about what it was. And now, today, we actually are fully in the moment of emergent agentic AI, or agentic AI. Agentic AI makes complete sense to everybody here, right? Oh, sorry. I wanted to say, because I thought it was good. Eric Schmidt was being interviewed, and he had this really, I think, positive insight when we were asking about tech and all this stuff and how do you keep up with it, and he just said, look, you gotta go out and ride the wave, and you've gotta ride it every single day. Because if you don't, it'll blow right past you. If you stand on the shore and just let those waves hit you one after the other, you're gonna feel overwhelmed. Get in, use the technology, play with the technology, ride the wave, ride it every day. We are at this moment where human and machine learning is undergoing the most transformative moment, the most impactful moment that it has ever undergone. And that's a pretty big, gigantic statement to make. I mean, the printing press had us all terrified that people would become able to print everything, and the printed word would be, anybody could say whatever they want, right? We've been terrified numerous times. The farriers were terrified when automobiles showed up, just as the shit shovelers were, because they both were gonna be out of a job. This relationship with technology, the mouse was a big deal. That was a game changer. Natural language input was another game changer. But this, right now, this moment, the next 6 months, and everything that comes after it, this is the time where we are undergoing the most fundamental change in the way that we relate to humans and between machines and humans. And it's important because it's going to radically change the way that we approach tasks. We're going to be exponentially more efficient. Not just more efficient, exponentially more efficient. Your team is going to change. To understand agentic AI, you need to think of this as an extension of your team. These are companions. In bookkeeping, you will have agentic AI. In your purchasing and business development, you will have an agent that will interview other agents, that will assist you in your business development. Your marketing department is already being AI assisted. It is going to get dramatically better at what it does. You will describe your marketing campaign, and it will build you your marketing campaign because it will know you, your brand, your goals. And all of these agents are going to work together in a network. They're all going to share information between each other that will make each of them substantially more successful at their job than any one of them could be on their own. We already have customer service. It's getting better every day. Strategic positioning, that's a no-brainer. That's an easy one. Leadership coaching, a position previously we would have considered untouchable by technology, is already being replaced by powerful LLM or multimodal models with memory that can role play, that can take on these tasks, that can ride along with you, that can listen to your entire day and help you analyze your entire day and your entire team's day and bring it all together and synthesize it. That's possible now. All right, so year 3, year 2, how do you select tech? Well, today I'm telling you that your agents will select the tech for you. If you missed the last 3 years, if you were like, this technology stuff, not for me, it's too overwhelming, good news. It's all going to do it for you. I know that sounds kind of utopian and it's like big promising, but seriously, it's going to do it for you. Up until now, it has been our requirement that we understand the command prompt. Do you know what I mean when I say command prompt? Right? Learn the prompt. You have to understand you have to enter in the command C:, blah, 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 right? And hit enter, return. In an LLM, you would speak the prompt. There was all these cheat sheets for prompts to get, GPT to do what you want it to do, to help build this set of Python code or build a string or some artifact that you needed to generate for you. That's gone. The LLMs are now adapting to us. The technologies are adapting to us individually as they retain information about our personalities, our brands, and our goals. They are adapting to us. They are inferring meaning from what we ask them to do. This is the paradigm shift. It's pretty exciting to be here in this moment now as we undergo this level of change. By 2027, this will all be like little tiny Lego blocks, trust me. We're gonna do a breakout session. We'll talk more in depth about things like user-centric adaptation. It's gonna be a whole bunch of fun little acronyms for things, right? But where we talk about technology that can self-evaluate efficacy, which basically is another way of saying it learns from its mistakes, right? If it's going to measure its efficacy, and based on that efficacy, there's a loop that helps it improve and improve and improve and improve, right? Easy enough, straightforward, right? And it's gonna do this while adapting to a success scale that you're gonna set. So there's lots of data, you're gonna set up metrics, how is it performing against those metrics, and it will self-evaluate, self-build, self-improve. Self-improvement is something we all strive to do, right? Mr. Michael Sowery is gonna talk about the KISS factor. But the truth is that it is all going to become remarkably more simple as we go on. It's going to minimize our learning curve. It's going to, in fact, it's going to integrate so naturally, most of you won't be aware that it's there. Within the next 2 years, you will largely be unaware, for those people who want to be unaware, of the role that AI is playing in technology in our daily lives. Your grandparents, your parents, people who are not tech savvy will easily navigate this world. They will have agents working on their behalf for them. Without understanding programming, without understanding computers, they will have a beautiful floating bubble that they talk to. Is anybody using GPT Pro? When I say floating beautiful bubble, you know what I'm talking about, right? That pulsating little wave-light thing that's got a very natural voice that speaks to you, and you can ask it to take on any kind of persona that you want, and it will gladly do that. It is the cheapest therapist on the planet. It will be the beginning of a frictionless user experience for you, not for the consumer, but for you, for the business owner who wants to build a system, any of the technology you've seen today, I'm going to make a bold statement. Why not? Any of the technologies that you've seen today, any of the enterprise platforms that you've seen today, you will be able to build for yourself without any understanding or knowledge about how they work. You will not need to go out and purchase those systems and hire an integrator and work with this company and that company. You won't need to do any of it. The agents will do it for you, and you will be happy to pay the agent to do the work. All right, agents, sovereign agents. When we think of a sovereign agent, this is someone who works for you, on behalf of you. They represent you, right? Like if you're from Germany, right? The German ambassador is gonna come along, and there's the agent. Now, secret agent would be way cooler, right? Could you imagine if you had all these like pew, 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 sort of sovereign agents running around in the background, but they can operate autonomously. This is a huge shift, and people are terrified, and they should probably be a little bit terrified. But your agents can operate autonomously and make decisions on their own. They can negotiate for you on your behalf to other agents on their own. They're going to be using real-time data inputs. They're going to be using their experience and your preferences to make those decisions, to come back and report to you on what next steps we need to take. And you can tell it that you have to give it authorization for X, Y, and Z, but you can also give it the responsibility. You can authorize it to take a certain number of steps that you just don't feel like you need to be involved in those decisions. You can give it an allowance. You could say you could spend up to this amount before you have to come back to me. B2B is done. Now, it's not really done, but it's done. A to A, A to B, and A to C. If you aren't thinking right now, oh snap, I'm gonna need an agent not just to do my bidding, not just to send out into the world to get what I need, but I'm gonna need to build an agent to represent the company, so that when the other agents come calling, they can interact with my agent, because my agent's gonna have to represent me in those negotiations, right? But these agents will be able to go out. Now, sorry, I had to include R2D2, because we can relate to R2D2, can we not? Is R2D2 Luke's best buddy? Does R2D2 help make decisions? Does R2D2 know the context of the situation? Does R2D2 have a personality? Can R2D2 open doors and fly spaceships, right? Can it do all of these things? When we talk about agents, we're talking about bits of code. We don't think about them being imbued into machines, but is that the next step? Yes, it is the next step. Yes, it's already being done. Will it be done more? Absolutely. But if you need to contextualize it and put in something concrete, think about Eve and Wall-E and R2D2, C3PO, and all the droids that could interact and make decisions that were given providence to go out and act on their owners' behalves. It won't be that cool, but imagine a field of agents, right? There's all this technology out there. Company X built this thing, company Y built that thing. Each one's gonna make your business make more money and be more efficient and be more profitable. They're all out there. And how do you know which one's gonna work for you? Well, you send your agent out into the mix, and your agent is gonna go and interact with those other agents, and it's gonna get frustrated with some of them, but it's going to be able to evaluate the performance of those platforms. It'll be able to evaluate the applicability of those platforms. It'll be able to evaluate whether or not they are appropriate for what you are looking to take on. Do they meet the scale, the price, the versatility, the flexibility, whatever it might be, and eventually, they'll find one and they'll make a deal. And that is how you are going to build your tech stack. Your agents, on your behalf, will build your new tech stack. You will have a series of agents working together in the background to perform complex computations, to use real-world data, to assess and analyze, and make recommendations to your company. These agents inside your company will all be sharing this information with each other. Bookkeeping and sales will talk to each other. Customer service and bookkeeping and accounting and sales and strategic growth will all be talking to each other. So what does this mean in 7 minutes? Let's take, because I'm a simple person, I'm gonna take some really simple, simplistic, simplified thinking type bits and see if I can give you something concrete that I see happening within the next 7 months. How about a responsive website? So your agent, you go browse, your consumer comes to their website. Their agent comes along with them. Your agent greets their agent. Your agent knows what they're looking for, their preferences, the things that they're hoping to see. And your agent reorganizes your website in real time for that individual. They're looking for kitchens, they get kitchens. They're looking for bathrooms, they get bathrooms. They're looking for more information about a specific project, they get it. Let's say that consumer comes and they don't have an agent. Well, your agent is measuring scroll time, it's measuring pupil dilation. It's measuring upturned corners of mouth, downturned corners of mouth. It's measuring furrowed brow. All of the things that your social media apps, the 27 things that everybody's Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook is currently measuring on your face when you use them. Did you know that? That it does that? It does do that. Hope you know that. That's the thing. And reorganizes your website, or engages with the consumer, asks it questions, asks it what it's looking for, provides information about the projects. How much is that project? It can tell them. How long did it take to build? It can tell them. Static images? Can your agent animate your images on the fly? Absolutely. Can that provide a more engaging experience than just looking at a static picture? Absolutely. How complex do you want that to be? Something subtle like the upper right-hand corner, or more active, showing people interacting with the space, or something that provides information about the project that they're looking at it in real time. And again, this is now, that's pretty stable. There's a little muntin that keeps dancing up on the right there, but that's pretty stable for modern animation today. All right, let's take a mundane task, and I want you to keep this phrase, reduction of toil, in your mind, okay? It's all about reducing toil. So expense reports, receipts, all of the boring stuff that everyone hates to do. Why can't one agent, OCR, recognize everything that's written on it? Another one looks for patterns, spending patterns, appropriate patterns based on the task that it was doing, looks for geographical relationship. Yep, the salesperson was traveling to Idaho at that time. That's why there's a dinner and there's a travel, and it proves it, sends it to bookkeeping. Bookkeeping then sends it on to whichever agent is analyzing company's cash flow, making reports about how sales agents are doing in the field, right? That's a mundane task that nobody wants to do. All right, we have some expensive AI out there that's doing takeoffs of our drawings, but consider, one agent is doing a takeoff of the drawing. The other agent is building the window and door schedule. The other one is doing a quantities. The other one is looking for irregularities, inconsistencies. There's a door that's the wrong, it's not, they're all 6'8", but that one's 7. Why? What's going on there? Raises a red flag. It builds a construction schedule based on what it can see for scope of work and drawings. It even fills out the contract for you, all ready to go. And then it presents it to the client for you and answers any questions the client might have about the project, because that AI will probably know more about the project than you do. And it is all mundane task work that nobody likes to do, so why not give it up? All right, this is the depressing part, or the scary part, the fun part. Here's our timeline. We're at agentic AI. AGI, full, true AGI, 2027. Will it be the US? Will it be China? I don't know. It requires 90 gigawatts of energy. That's a lot of juice. I'm not gonna get political, but I'm just saying, had we maintained a good friendship with our friends to the north who have a ton of hydroelectric power, that might have been a smart move, but we didn't. Okay, so we're gonna have to basically come up with the same amount of power as 9 major cities in the next year and a half in order to feed the AI. In order for AGI to exist. 9 nuclear reactors online. Where's that power gonna come from? Why are we making deals in the Middle East? I don't know. Here's the really exciting part. AGI is the beginning. From AGI to superintelligence AGI, the curve is exponentially steeper. This means that 1 week where agents are building 100 million more agents of themselves every day, it will be impossible to catch up. Whoever gets to superintelligence first will be in that position for a very, 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 very long time. There's a lot of very real world discussion about which player is going to get there first and what it will look like. And if you don't believe me, there are plenty of folks in the Google world, in the Amazon world, in the Meta world, who are very open about these types of conversations and the concerns that come with where we're gonna build our data centers and how secure they have to be, because if you can't get there first, what's the next alternative? Blow the other one up. I'm not joking. MCP is very, very exciting. Most exciting thing that's happened in a while. This model content protocol is the universal remote that allows all things AI to speak to each other. In the breakout session, we will go into just how groundbreaking this is and what this means for AI and for tech. But basically, consider this is like every technology agreeing on USB-C and AI agreeing on USB-C, and they will all integrate. So we aren't going to talk about APIs anymore. That's done. There's no Zapiers, that's gone. OpenAI with free access, open source free access to all tech. Okay, remember I said, for those of you who are here in the years past, what's the job of a milkshake? What are you hiring the milkshake to do? Same thing. When you're looking at agentic AI, and you're thinking, oh, snap, Anschel just like went all the way to doomsday scenario. Dial it way back. Look at the toil. That's where you want to hire the milkshake. Look for the things that are unfun. That's the role of the milkshake. That's where you want it to do its work. Thank you very much, and I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Michael Sowry. Thank you.